Wolf von Leipzig, you are a journalist of international affairs at Luxemburger Wort. When we look at the enlargement of the European Union in 2007 to include Bulgaria and Romania, would you judge that so far it has been rather a success or that there are still a lot of difficulties?
Well, tough question. I should say the balance is a bit mixed. What we certainly know is that in 2007 it was a political decision to have Bulgaria and Romania become EU members, and it was the right decision. It was at the same time a bit premature, and they might have done their homework a little bit better. And perhaps psychologically it was the wrong signal to let them in before they did their homework. Now they have to do it afterwards, and they are struggling with a number of problems like corruption and some remains of political authoritarianism, and the problem of minority, that is a problem of the whole of the Western Balkans. Is an obvious case in point, and the large number of asylum seekers in Western Europe, or the old Europe, is a sign that something has to be done about those societal and social and also economical problems, and they must be addressed in their home countries, but certainly with the help of the EU altogether.
Mm-hmm. So in a way, it's not the fact that Romania and Bulgaria are part of the EU that those problems of inclusion of minorities have occurred. They would have occurred anyway. It's just that the policies need to be addressed to really be able to cope with the problem.
They become more evident to a larger European public, where the standards of civil rights are probably higher than they used to be in the Balkans, and where the preoccupation with economics and everyday, the earning of everyday life was the main preoccupation of the population, and they sort of put the other problems that don't concern them immediately aside, and that backfires now.
Perfect, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Armand Clesse, when we look at the inclusion of minorities in Western Balkans, and particularly at the Roma, is the situation satisfactory according to you or not?
It's of course not satisfactory at all. But also, one should not, when one talks about inclusion, one should not begin with social inclusion. What is needed is perhaps first kind of mental inclusion, psychological inclusion, cultural inclusion perhaps, and then only after comes social and even more so societal inclusion. So what is needed is a drastic change of mentalities. And then in that case, if that can be implemented, then inclusion, also social inclusion, can be done almost spontaneously. So let's start with the mentalities, but that can only be done through a long-term education or educational effort. So something, it may take decades, it may take generations, so something not very easy to be done.
So money itself is not the solution.
No.
It's institutional change, it's the change of mentalities that is most important.
No, because money creates new dependencies. People are expecting just money, it makes them greedy, it makes them also look for easy solutions instead of making efforts of them by themselves. So just giving money can be counterproductive.
Mm-hmm.
If and of course, if one gives money, people must know how to use it in a sensible way and not waste it, as is often the case. This is true for the authorities, for the administrations, and it's true for the direct receivers.
So the European Union can do more to exercise pressure on the recipient countries to better use the money they get.
Yes, these countries have first to develop intelligent programs how to use this money. Otherwise, as is the case, for example, with Romania, the money is just there. It's blocked on some accounts and it's not even used at all. So it's also, one can argue, not misused or wasted, but it's there. That cannot be the sense, the purpose of giving money for the Roma. So a radical rethinking of the way how to deal with the Roma, not to help them, but to deal with them, how to make the situation possible where Roma someday will be considered just ordinary citizens and not the kind of minority or people that must get special treatment. That must be the aim. But we are very, very far from this, and for the moment there are even trends towards the contrary, that the prejudices about the Roma on the decrease, also the contempt and even the hatred. So all this is unfortunate, and it's at this level of mentalities, education, attitudes, that prejudices, that something really substantive must be done, much more than in the material field.
Thank you very much.
So, as you can see also on this slide, so the idea of our policy is threefold. First of all, foster an enabling environment in the countries, an environment that will allow every minority to benefit from the constitutionally guaranteed rights. Then we also assist the countries when it comes, each candidate country, when it comes to aligning with the EU legislation. So that includes basically the EU acquis, the EU standards, the EU practice also, which is very, very important. And third, the third point for our policy in the region, and for each country, we also assist financially the countries in fulfilling the conditions that are set under each of the chapters, in each of the policy areas, notably when it comes here to the social integration of minorities. So for Serbia we have a budget of over 200 million euros in total, out of which there are projects, actions, specific measures that are adopted and that are foreseen for improvement of the situation of the minorities.
Thank you very much.